Welcome into this week's edition of Around the Horn. This week, the Gatemen had a pair of home games, first against the Cotuit Kettleers. The Gatemen were graced with the arrival of Cole Sturgeon back for another summer, and he got off to a hot start. Gatemen also had a few extra base hits from Trevor Podratz and Matt Walsh. Also, the Gatemen pitching racked up a lot of strikeouts against the Kettleers. And he will lead off against Ben Smith. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Sturgeon, first pitch swing, flares it out into center field for a base hit. Good way to start the summer for Cole Sturgeon, and he has a leadoff single.
Filming an episode of Gatemen Around the Horn. Tune in, and I think he'll... Ooh, good
long
shot
drive
there.
out to left field. Looking up is the left fielder. That ball is gone. Trevor Podratz with the home run smokes that one out to left field. And the Gatemen have trimmed the lead to 5-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Second home run of the summer for Trevor Podratz. Touch 'em all, it's gone.
2-2 from Killian. Swing and a miss. Strike three. That is the second strikeout of the night, the second for Hunter Cole. So Cole responsible for both of Trey Killian's strikeouts, both swinging. And number 22, Dylan Ortman, about to throw. The 2-2 kicks the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. 1-1 from Smith. That's a high fly ball toward deep left center. Going back is the center fielder Cole. And that will fall. Rolls around out there in left center and moving into second with a double is Matt Walsh. Another extra base hit.
Against Falmouth on Saturday, Cole Stansel ripped a double down the right field line, and Cole Sturgeon drove him home for a nice Gateman run. Also, the pitching continued the strikeout success with Andro Chitura and Bradley Roney starting and ending the game with Ks. Chitura looking to get another punch out here. Here's the 2-2. Inside swing and a miss. Chitura gets out of danger, leaves the man at second base. He gets Gillespie to go down swinging. It's the first strikeout of the night for Andro Chitura.
Pitch to Stansel, that's ripped opposite field down the right field line. That'll roll fair. Going over is Hoskins, rounding first and almost tripping is Stansel. Throw into second, he's in there with a leadoff double. Nice piece of hitting for Cole Stansel. 1-1 to first. Gillespie on his way home is Stansel. Gillespie steps in the bag. Out number 2, but a run in. Stansel scores. It's 9-1.
Roney from the stretch fires the 1-2. Nice slider there, called strike three. Bradley Roney starts the top of the ninth with a punch out. He gets Gillespie down looking. This week, the Gatemen are back in action with 3 more home games at Spillane Field. Be sure to tune to WCTV to catch all the broadcasts.
Hi, I'm Bradley Roney, and you're watching Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn.
So it's been a rough going.
Yep.
But I know we have more guys who have just come in recently. If you want to discuss some of that.
Yeah, since the last show, we had those 11 guys in the College World Series. We got, I think, 8 of them here now, and 3 more. Well, one's not coming. The other 2, one will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, and then one will be here Friday. So, hopefully when we get everybody here, we'll be able to maybe develop a little continuity and develop a little chemistry. We just don't have it right now. We're just kind of wandering around.
Yeah, and that's the good thing with some of the guys who came are returning players from last year. You got Jared Roxer, Cole Sturgeon's been here for a week or so, and then you have Kurt McCune. So you get those guys who played well together last season.
Right.
So hopefully they'll kickstart the rest of the team.
Right. Jonathan Holder will be here this week. He was with us last summer. So, we're just basically trying to find ourselves, and we've had a lot of injuries. Mikey White's been out. Tino Lipson's been out for 2 weeks. We've got, several guys. Danny Rosenbaum's got a little hip deal going on. So we're just we're the MASH unit right now, trying to get ourselves in sync. Seems like everything that could happen to us has happened to us.
Yeah, it's Murphy's Law.
Yeah, it's just we had everything go right last year, and then this year everything seems to be. But again, it's baseball. We just got to go out there and play the game and do what we do, and hopefully, we'll want to sound all doom and gloom. There's some good players here, and we need to, just start turning a new leaf over.
Yeah, I mean, and not only have you been snake bitten by the injuries, but you're also been snake bitten by the weather as
Yeah.
well. I mean, it's last summer was a beautiful summer.
Right.
We had those hot and humid days where it was tough to play in, but we got the games in, and it seems like we've already had 2 or 3 rainouts so far and rescheduled.
We've had several, and the big thing there is I think someone said the other day it's the wettest June in the history of the area, so hopefully July is going to be a little bit better. And the hard thing right now from a coaching standpoint is you don't have a lot of practice time. The off days, generally you try to get your bunt defenses and your first and thirds and your pickoffs in, and we worked on our bunt defenses last Tuesday, and then we for the last 4 bunts, I don't think we've gotten an out. So we haven't done a very good job with doing what we do. But with the transition of players moving in and out, you try, once you get them in, you have to reteach the new ones when they come in, and then it's just a constant battle there, trying to develop some chemistry and continuity with everything we're doing. And last summer, we had our guys here, we got everything going, and I think the only 2 we were missing were the 2 guys from Arizona. And so anyway, it was easier because we had everything in, everybody was used to it, everybody could practice it, and now we have to reteach every time. So it's all about these guys and their performance and being ready mentally and physically when they hit the field, and we haven't been able to do that very well. So hopefully that's going to change. Like I said, we've got some really good players, and hopefully things are going to start. They don't put a lot of pressure on themselves to just go out and play the game.
Yeah. Now, yesterday, the team participated in the annual workout day up at Fenway, which the Cape League holds, and the Red Sox put it on, and it's open to all the Cape League teams. Now, what's that like for these guys?
Oh, it's awesome. They, they were all taking pictures with their cell phones, and Peter Gammons was there, and I went over and asked him. I said, "Can you get some pictures made with some of our guys?" So a bunch of them got their picture made with him, and it's just a great atmosphere for them. Some of them had never seen the Green Monster, and they were out there standing beside it, getting their pictures made, and it's really, really a neat experience for them. And I think I thought it was going to be another deal where we were snake bit. We were the last team to work out up there. They do it kind of alphabetically, and we were the last team. Us and YD were the last 2 up there, and they were rushing everything through because the rain was coming, so we didn't even get to take in field. And so I thought we were going to get snake bit, and the guys weren't going to get to hit on the field, but they did, and that was exciting for them. And so they had us on a clock up there. You got 40 minutes to hit, and the clock stopped. So we got a new guest coming in here. Come on in.
We have a live studio audience
I think
today.
she wants to
This is
ask
my
a
daughter,
question.
Hannah. She wanted to be on camera. But, all right, well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time out today and being with us every week. And we look forward to seeing you again. And best of luck this week. And
Well, hopefully we'll have some better news next time we do this. So,
excellent.
I'm Cole Sturgeon. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn.
With me now is Bradley Roney. So tell us a little bit about, the difference between in college where you're not playing every day to here on the Cape where you're basically playing every day.
It's a lot different. Usually in college it's mandatory to have at least 1 off day. So up here, we don't really get off days very often. I think we've played 10 in a row till our first off day that we've had up here. So it's a grind, and it makes you really tired. But it's the major difference is that, you have to get a lot of rest. You can do a lot more things in college that you can't do up here and still get away with. So.
Right, and so those off days that you're talking about are, league-wide. So if you have a rain delay or a cancellation, that's when you're going to make up those days. So on an off day, what is an activity you would like to get done here on Cape Cod?
I think the only thing I would care about doing is going to the beach. Since we're up here on Cape, it seems like a good thing to do.
All right, so on those off days that you do get, what are some of the activities you'd like to get done here on Cape Cod?
The only thing I really care about right now is going to the beach and just enjoying a whole day off without having anything to do.
Of course. What about fishing? Do you like fishing? Fishing's pretty big here.
I like catching more than I do fishing. If nothing's biting, it's not really fun.
All right, that makes sense. So what would you say do you have any special talents you would like to let Wareham community know of?
I'm pretty big into music. I like playing just about any instrument I can get my hands on, so I really love music.
All right, what are some of the instruments that you play?
Piano, guitar, and drums, and anything else.
Jack of all trades, huh? Hi, here with me now I have Cole Sturgeon, outfielder and pitcher. So Cole, you have a quick turnaround. You just left Omaha, basically. Can you tell us what a memorable moment out in Omaha was?
Yeah, it was a special experience. It was a very cool place, and you always dream of going there, and it was a fun time.
So it's funny, I always see the hashtags from Louisville Baseball, Road to Omaha, and you guys actually made it, so I'm sure that was a huge accomplishment. Talk about like how the general energy was along the team.
Yeah, I mean, we always, when we're working out and practice, we always break down to Omaha, and then, we were finally there. It's kind of a surreal moment, one that, none of us will ever forget.
So not only did Louisville Baseball have an outstanding, year, but BCS win, national championship, a women's national championship run, and now you guys. I think they said it was the first school in college history to do that. So tell us how the year, just like the atmosphere around school was.
Campus was pretty crazy, especially after Christmas. You get back and, the football team won the Sugar Bowl over break, and then you get back and the basketball team wins the national championship. Women's team's runner-up, they beat Baylor. Campus was pretty crazy the last couple months. It was fun.
So I'm sure you felt a little bit of pressure, just, all these other teams are doing so well. You're like, well, why not us, right?
Yeah, Coach always said we can't be the one to drop the ball. We were the last ones left playing, so we had to keep it going.
All right, so can you talk to us a little bit about how you're playing pitcher and, outfielder,
Yeah, I mean, I did it at Louisville, just kind of try to get my work in pitching whenever I can. And usually just come in kind of later in the game from the outfield. It's worked out pretty good so far.
Hi, I'm Jared Ruxer, and you're watching Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn.
We're here at Metapoiset Public Library, and the Wareham Gatemen are about to go read to some children. So let's go listen in.
He knew the constellations and the light years to the stars, and wouldn't it be great, he thought, to ride a bike on Mars.
One night I was standing in left field at Fenway Park. And New York's best hitter blasted a deep fly ball right toward me. I ran as fast as I could and dove for it, feeling the smack of the ball on my glove as I skidded across the outfield grass.
All right, Ryan, so can you tell us what book you read for us today?
My favorite, Moonball.
So what was Moonball about?
Moonball was about a kid that he was playing a game. He struck out a couple times. Had to come back, went to bed, basically dreamt about playing with the moon and succeeding with all the comets and all the moon, and so yeah.
Then he went up to his room and lay on his bed for a long, long time, not sleeping, just watching the moon round the bases of the sky. He remembered every single game he had ever played. Just once, he thought, just once I wish I could hit the ball. He felt tired, and if he had played the game all by himself. Tired, but not sleepy.
So, Desi, what did you think about the stories today?
Well, they were interesting, and I like the story Moonball because it's like this boy goes to the moon and he plays baseball.
That sounds awesome. Have you read that story before?
Yeah, I read it in school because a few of them came to my school.
The bat made a sound like thunder when it hit. His hand stung with the power of it. "Run, Danny, run," cried Regal. Moon threw his glove down in disgust. Danny watched the ball streak across the sky, fall into the far side of Earth, a home run.
So, Bradley, at Southern Miss, do you do any in the community type of activities like you did today?
Yes, we have a school on campus for disabled learning children. It's called the DeBar School, so we would go over there at least twice a week and read to them.
Great. How important do you think it is to see you guys in the community? I mean, they look up to you guys as role models, and they hope to follow all the games.
I mean, it's really important because I remember as a little kid, just like them, I would always love to see guys that played baseball. It didn't really matter if they were, you know, playing for the Red Sox or playing for a 12-year-old team when I was 6 years old. I looked up to those guys. So, I mean, I think it's really important to do stuff like this.
Oh, it's really important. I remember when I was their age, and I would, you know, look up to guys like me, and I'd always aspire to be a big-time baseball player. So to be that for these little kids, I think it means a lot to them for sure, and it means a lot to us as well. So it's good.
So you got yourself a button there?
Yeah.
Did you make that yourself or a kid?
I made it myself.
Great. Did you make a button today?
I did.
Where is it?
I gave it to a little kid.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Right-handed pitcher Jared Rexer. So you've recently arrived on Cape Cod, and you're welcomed by two of your Louisville teammates, Cole and Danny. How is it playing with them this summer?
It's great. It's great to come out here and know some more people. Obviously, I'm back from my second year, so I know some of the guys anyway, but it's good to be with those guys again.
Right, and you and Cole lived together last year, didn't you? So is it the same arrangement this year? Or?
Yeah, same host family, same everything, which is really comfortable. It's a lot easier just knowing everyone and having that situation. It's exactly the same.
How is it living with the host family? You know, you could potentially be, not in your case, but you could potentially be stuck with a stranger. And so how is it getting used to them and, you know, making yourself feel at home?
Well, it's kind of different, but it's not really a new experience for me. I've been with, I think this is my third host family, so you get used to it. You just have to be comfortable around them. And a lot of these families, they've been doing it for years, so they're really nice people, and they're easy to get along with.
Yeah, and I know the host families that I've met, you know, they're in the community and they're huge Gatemen fans, so I'm sure they're great to you. Mm-hmm. So if you were to pick out like a role model or someone that has inspired you throughout your baseball career or non-baseball related, who would you say that would be?
It'd have to be my dad, just encouraging me through this whole career and everything, and just always being there, even when, you know, I'm at my worst or when I'm at my best. He's just always been consistent with me.
Do you think he'll be able to get out here and watch you play?
Yeah, he's definitely going to make it out. My family, they'll come out probably sometime this July.
Great. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck. I'm here with pitcher Spencer Turnbull. You were telling me that you played football in high school. Do you think that any of the skills that you learned in football can transcribe onto the baseball diamond?
Maybe a few. Of course, I'm a pitcher, so I don't have to do a whole lot. But, you know, just playing quarterback, I had to, like, do a lot of rollouts and stuff, so I had to pass that way. And if you have to field a ground ball off the mound or something, you might have to make an awkward throw to first base, so that probably helps.
How important do you think it is for, you know, kids to play multiple sports in high school? You know, you hear so much about specialization and then focusing on one sport, but do you think it's important for athletes to be well-rounded and not just one sport?
I think it is important. Like, obviously, if you have somebody who's really gifted in one sport, I don't see anything wrong with specializing, but I mean, especially for me, I didn't know which sport I liked the most or which one I had the greatest future in. That's probably the biggest point. Like, you don't know what sport you might develop the most in, so you might as well play as many as you can for as long as you can.
So at what point did you realize that baseball was going to, you know, take you into college?
About my junior year in high school was when I figured out that's what I was going to do.
Did you think at all about playing two sports in college, or you just focus on baseball?
No, I figured by that point it was easier to just do one.
All right, well, great.